So, guys, we're talking matchmaking, and then we started talking about it last week, and I'll continue right away. So, let me jump right into it. So, basically, matchmaking is the idea about the act of connecting people together for whatever the reason is. But because we're relationship and marriage oriented, in our case, it's for marriage. But it's something that happens for business, for sports, as the case may be. But like I said, because we are a relationship company, so ours is for marriage. All right. Matchmaking is actually a big deal. It's like a career. It's a profession for some people. There are even certifications, like you can go and study it in school. Some people don't know that, so it's serious stuff, but it goes way back to history, way back to the beginning. It's a practice that has always been where people send someone to say, okay, go and find us somebody. I mean, you saw what Abraham did with Eliezer, his servant. He said, go to my place, go and find wife for my son. That was matchmaking. Isaac didn't know Rachel from anywhere. Rebecca, what was Isaac's wife's name? Let me not form her in public. Rebecca, Abby? Yes. He didn't know her from anywhere, but the servant went, look for wife that is befitting for Oga's son. Found her and brought her home to Isaac. You see, so that's matchmaking, as a matter of fact, because it's someone having to play the connection to say, okay, come, I have somebody that, I think you would like, and say you want to marry, this one want to marry, oh yeah, come now, let me join the two of you together. But basically what we're passionate about in the Single and Ready Club, two things. One is to help create visibility. How will you see yourselves if you're not in the same space? If you don't have the opportunity to connect or to be in the places where other people who want to get married are. You see, some ladies complain about having the married men always asking them out, So what we decided to do is let's create a place where, as much as possible, we'll try to ensure that the people coming in are single and are ready to get married. Hence the name Single and Ready Club. All right. And then we'll put them in the same group, in the same community. It's a virtual community. So and it's not a typical WhatsApp group where everyone can chat with everyone. No, as a matter of fact, nobody sees anybody except what I post on the group. So it was until I post your information to say, okay, there's this beautiful damsel. She's 35. She's a lawyer. She's residing in Abuja. She wants a man who lives in Lagos. Until I post that information, nobody's going to see it. So the idea is you get on the group and you just keep scrolling, especially when we have an update, you just keep scrolling to see who's new. And if you're interested, you drop a message with admin and then I do the connection. And the reason for that is because as much as possible, we want to put in some regulation to it. You don't want just anybody sneaking up on you and telling you, hey, I saw you in one group, Alpha, so somehow there are interactions I will have. And let me say again that I am the one handling this. So it's me, Coach Mayzy. I'm the one handling this. So there are interactions I will have with people, with anyone, who wants to have a connect with someone. I told you that what we're doing here is a fusion of matchmaking and coaching. So there are conversations we are going to have, and I'm very intentional about this, right? So I will just do my best as much as humanly possible, but the prayer is that God will bring in the right people, serious-minded people to join the community, and then people will find themselves and give each other a chance. All right. Now, besides the one-on-ones I'll be doing with some selected people in the group, I'm also going to have general webinars where we'll be teaching about certain specific titles that are important to you and to marriage and to the state that you're in right now. And the first of such events will be happening on May 31st. And the theme for that one, okay, I'll attend to a question on this thing, on the chat. And the theme for the first event we're having is destroying limiting mindsets, limiting beliefs. All right. The reason many people are still single is because there are certain belief systems that are in their head that is shutting them or stopping them, as it were, preventing them from meeting the right people. And I want to help you identify some of those beliefs so that we can destroy them and scatter them so that you can marry men Marry, it's going to be so powerful. I'll have some of my friends and co-practitioners in the space. They're going to be with us, and we're going to do justice to that topic. I want to identify some of those limiting beliefs, and we're going to pull them down and show you new and empowering affirmations that you can begin to say over yourself and trust God, to create a new you and a new experience. So this is very intentional practice, right? And that's why I want you guys to keep spreading the word. Tell your people, tell your colleagues, tell your neighbors. Don't do like you're inside, or don't even know you're inside until they enter too. But just tell them that there's this guy I follow on Instagram. He has started a matchmaking community. Let's give it a try. It's just 5K 5. It's not expensive. Just give it a try. Besides, they say there's going to be lots of coaching content too. So who knows? Maybe I need to hear something. Another challenge some people have is they don't believe that they need to learn. They believe that they know this thing was there. It was there that we don't know. It's not by age. Marriage is not by age. Successful marriage is not by age. All right. So trust me, there are intricacies you need to know. There are things you need to know, no matter what you think you have known so far. Me, that is both a married man and a practitioner. Okay. Was it last week I was talking about the number of courses I've done? Before now, I've done several courses, but this year alone, I've completed 3 certification courses. I have 2 that I'm yet to start. There's one I have started. There's another that is starting June. In fact, there's another one starting this May, mid-May. Materials have been shared. We're still reading it, and then classes will start later. There's another one starting in June. In fact, there are 2 starting in June all the way to September. What am I saying? There are things that we are still learning. We that are the practitioners. So how much more the people that have not even attended one class about relationship, and you just believe that you're an expert because all your life nobody don't you can for your eye before. You say no, nobody can break man, nobody can break man. It's not about the heartbreak, all right? It's not about that. It's about the fact that there are so many things that you need to know about being intentional in creating your dream marriage. All right, so that's what we're doing. It's not just come and meet life partner. It's come and learn. Come and learn. We're bringing the coaching to you. Since we have been inviting you or some people, come and hear something. They don't want to come. Okay, now that you have come to the group to come and meet spouse, you will still have the opportunity to learn something. All right, and that's how intentional we want to be about this. Let me take a question that Telumuna asked. He said, "No disrespect, sir. Someone that has one or two, someone that has born 1 or 2, can the person join the group?" Now, what's our definition of single? Let me answer you like that. Our definition of single is somebody who is not married at the moment. That means that you may have been married before, but it is officially over, either by virtue of death or divorce. Do you understand? If it's just separation, we will not honor that. We won't bring you into the room. Do you understand? But if it's, and if you, for those of you who have who have filled the form already, you see that is one of the things we asked you. Were you married before? How did it end? All right. And for all of these, we're going to require documentation. If you're married before, we're going to require proof. If it has ended officially, we're going to require proof. Do you understand? So that's, you're not married at the time you're single. All right. So it's either you've never been married before. Do you understand? Or you have been married, but the marriage is officially over, either by death or by divorce or by annulment, whatever the case. And then, even if you're a single parent, but you have not been married before, yes, you can join the group, because the idea is for people who are not married at the moment. So if you have 1 or 2 or even 5, yes, you can join the group. There's this woman I follow in the US, and she had this single lady who had about 7 children. And she was available looking for a man. All right. So, point is, so long as you are not legally married, you're not married, you can join the group. Whether you're single, married before, but officially the marriage is over, either by annulment or by divorce or by death, of the partner. And then, so that's why, if those of you who have filled the form, you see that I said that we are taking men up to the age of 60, women up to the age of 55, because there are some men who want to remarry. I know a number of people like that. They may be in their 50s or maybe early 60s and they want to remarry. I will be glad to give them somebody lovely from the group, especially if, all the people I'm looking for are great guys and correct people. Do you understand? So yes, that's to answer that question. Yes, if you're a single mother or a single father, yes, you can join the group so long as at the moment you are not married. And we ask all those questions there. Do you have children? How many children do you have? Because some of these things are important to know the person who is joining the group. Now, I tell people that I'm not doing any special high-level background check like we did before. Does not mean that we're not doing basic verification. All right. There's a reason we're not asking for just your pictures, for example. All right. There are other subtle and small ways that we're doing some verifications to be sure that it's the person who said they are joining the group. It's the person who is filling the form that is joining the group. All right. I won't get into all that. That's part of my own security check, right? But the point is, at random, we would also just be sifting through the members and identifying any funny and unwanted element. It's also part of the reasons why you don't join automatically. Nobody has the link to the Telegram group. I shall bring you in. And if I don't bring you in, you shall not come in. Just like Jesus said, I am the way. Do you understand? If I don't bring you in, you're not, no other person can bring you in. Do you understand? So yes, we're just being intentional so that we're sure that the caliber of people in the room are who they say they are, and they're authentic and they're real. And so far it's growing. All right. We have fashion designers, we have bankers, we have accountants, we have a tech person, we have a health person, I'm saying person because we never plenty like that. Do you understand? But people are coming in and I'm happy. Do you understand? So please, what are you waiting for? Oh yeah, start jumping in, tell your friends. So the thing is, we all know single people. Just scroll through your contact list. You see some single people that that generally speaking, their head is correct. Do you understand? It's true that there are personal things about people's lives that you may not know, but there are people that that generally they are good and fine and acceptable. At that level, it's okay. All right. Bring them in, let them come and join the community. All right. The ones that that their head is not correct, please send them far away. In fact, they should not see the group. And even if they come, I will not bring them in if I have any intel, stuff like that. But basically what we're saying is we're trying to be intentional about this. A lot of people have their reservations about matchmaking. We tried to talk about some of them last week, but let me just move on and demystify some of those concerns that people have about matchmaking. Now, some of the things I've heard, and by the way, some of the people that my ogas in this space, all right, some of them actually don't like matchmaking and don't believe in it, but nevertheless, so long as it's a legitimate activity, it's fine, and people can actually have their own reasons, which are also very valid. Howbeit, I just happen to be passionate about it, and I did not give myself the passion. Do you understand? So sometimes when I'm praying about this, I'm like, God, which kind of while with this? This thing has been in my heart for years, actively for years, beyond a decade, as a matter of fact. So sometimes I'm just wondering, like, God, why did you put all this passion here if you don't want me to do something about it? I've tried to behave like Jonah, I've tried to fashi it, I've tried to, but it's going nowhere. So that means that I have been assigned this task for this generation, and there are some people who need what we are bringing because somehow their blessing is connected to it. And I'm not shying away from that anymore. I'm jumping all out, I'm going all out. And these are the days of little beginnings, but trust me, we're going to be global, man. Do you understand? So we're in. That's just what I'm saying. And don't forget the catch, matchmaking and coaching, because ultimately we want you to know how to achieve that blissful marriage. Just before I joined the live, I saw on someone's Instagram post, the person said, roses are dead and love is fake. And I'm like, hey, yeah, maybe something don't happen to this one now. Do you understand? That kind of person now will now be saying that love is one kind, men has come, all those kind of things. And then someone in your mind, you still want to marry, but you're already being defeated by this kind of negative beliefs and all of these things. And sometimes the things that happened to you were perhaps the result of ignorance. You did not know better. All right. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. We need to save a lot of people. The marriage can work. Listen to me. Let me say this. One of these days, I will share on all of the lessons, or a lot of lessons that I learned from my parents and, from my upbringing and all of that. But let me tell you, I was already a teenager when I found out that in this life, some people don't have good marriages. So I did not know. I didn't know, because what I had in my home was fantastic. It was great. I thought everybody was enjoying it. I remember the first time I saw a couple fight. I was a teenager, and I was shocked. He's hitting his wife. Why is he shouting at her like that? It was until I started becoming older that I knew that, this thing that I'm enjoying in my house, a lot of people are not enjoying it too, And I can tell you categorically. Anyway, I have a full script for lessons I've learned from my parents, and I'm going to be sharing it, one of these days. And I'm going to be bringing them into the room in one of the sessions we'll be having just for the community, so that they can share how they were able to raise an intention. Now, my parents have been married 43 years now, and people like that have wisdom to share. How did you people do it? And all your children, their head is correct. Well, how did you do it? Do you understand? Because it's doable, it's real. That's what I grew up knowing. I don't know otherwise. And I'm experiencing it too. I was telling one of my teachers in one of the programs I did that all of these things they are teaching, and it's sounding wow to the people that are listening. That was my normal. That was how I grew up. I grew up in a home where if your parents did something wrong to you, they would apologize to you. I grew up with that. It's not strange. When I see men who cannot apologize to their wives, they cannot apologize to their children, I'm wondering what's happening to this person. Why? Because even as a child, if my dad falsely accused me or something happened, maybe punished me for something, and I later saw that, he would tell you, I'm sorry. My father is not, I'm not talking about my, So it's normal. We grew up in a house where those courtesies, those things were normal. It wasn't strange. It wasn't strange to lend a helping hand. It was normal, to encourage, to support, to give warm greetings and hugs and stuff like that. It was normal. So even as a teenager, I could be hugging a girl in the presence of my dad, and he's not saying, who are you? Are you touching a woman? No, we grew up healthy. That's what I'm saying. It's possible. Do you understand? So we could discuss anything in the house, and you're not afraid that. See, there's a lot I could share. My point is, it is possible to have a great home. I want to show you how. I have tasted this thing. I know it. I have tasted this thing. I know it. I can tell you. In fact, one of my brothers, one of my uncles just joined the live. He can testify to what I'm saying. So basically, it's possible. It's achievable. Don't focus on whether you're meeting in a matchmaking group or whether you're meeting in church or whether you're meeting anywhere. No, that's not what's material. You can meet anywhere. You see, I'm already talking about some of the concerns people have with matchmaking, like, it's only on serious people that are there. How dare you say that? How dare you say that? No, it's not only on serious people. There are a lot of serious people, all right, who sign up to matchmaking sites and stuff like that, all right? So don't think that, no, it's only hit and run, that kind of people that are there. No, they are serious-minded people. And for us, as much as possible, we will try to make sure that the people we're getting in, as like I keep saying, as much as possible to the best of our knowledge and ability, are sane and healthy and responsible people, right? But the truth is, this thing will grow to a point where we may not be able to individually verify everybody and do all of those things, and then we'll rely on technology and some program to administer some of these things. Do you understand? But what is most important is you, the individual. What is the quality of sense that you're coming in with? What is the quality of awareness, consciousness, wisdom, knowledge that you're coming in with? And in case you did not bring some when you're coming, we have enough to give you within the community. If you leave me, I can organize weekly trainings in that community. And I mean what I'm saying. If you left to me, I can organize weekly trainings. Let me not say daily. Let me not push it. But I can, this is what I see. Nothing right now pumps my heart like this thing I'm doing. So I can organize weekly sessions if you want. All right. The point is, we are so passionate about empowering people. All right. You can be 40, 45, and you don't know what it takes to have a good marriage. You can be 50. In fact, you can be married before. and you don't know what it means to have a good marriage. Oh yes. If it's just marriage experience that people used to know how to run the home, then you won't be hearing of multiple cases of divorce. Do you understand? So there are people who have been married 3 times and even the fourth one is about to crash again. My point is this thing can be learned. It can be learned rather, and don't just stay aloof saying, no, I don't know what kind of people will be there. Get in first. All right, get in first. This is a community where, at least by God's grace, you know the person who is coordinating it. It's me, I'm verifiable. Go and look for me. If you don't know how to verify somebody's identity online, well, you can find out. But this is me, you know the person, all right? So it's not like some faceless kind of place where you can't read me. Some people have chatted me up and I'm there to answer you. Someone even wanted to ask me, are you the one that is handling the group? I said, I'm the one. It's me that created it. Do you understand? Because what I really want to do is to help people connect for marriage, but beyond the connection, to help them to be better people in themselves. Getting married will become very easy for certain people when they grow in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, when they grow in emotional maturity, when they grow in spiritual maturity. It will become easy. Many of the questions they have, many of the concerns they have will just fizzle out because somehow they've been empowered with knowledge. So you need to understand that marriage can work. It takes a lot of intentionality, and we're here to show you how. That's one. Two, so I spoke to the concern about people thinking that there are no serious people there, no serious persons in a matchmaking community, that just people are just there for fun. No, they're serious-minded people who want to really get married and who are looking forward to finding a partner. All right. Now, someone else says, I don't want to join this kind of forum because it will look like I'm desperate. I don't want it to look like I'm desperate. See, joining a matchmaking community does not mean you're desperate. Maybe you're desperate, but I'm just saying that it is not the act of joining that now makes you desperate. Now, you may not join a community, yet every other action of yours out there is highly desperate. Anywhere you hear wedding, you go and wear your best clothes, you go and look as sexy as possible, you're just trying to get all the eyeballs as much as you can, somebody says hi, tomorrow you're calling the person my love, my darling, so you meet somebody today, tomorrow you're saying, when are you coming over, can I come over, you're already giving off the vibes that, hey, come on, slow this thing down. You see, so it's not by joining a community that you will know whether you're desperate or not. It's by every other activity and the disposition of your mind towards marriage. All right. One of the things we'll help you do here is to also slow down that desperation. All right. Because I remember the first time I started, I did matchmaking for a bit in 2019. I remember the first time I started it, and some people, if they don't register today, from tomorrow, I'm not going to hear what again. I found out, you say you will give me husband, though. This one, I say, calm down. Take it easy now. I don't used to produce husband in my backyard and hang in show glass. Do you understand? Wait now. Somebody say, I've registered though. I've not seen husband. And I'm like, slow it down, man. You've been around for 30 something or 40 something years. You didn't find. Is it overnight in my group you want to find? Like slow it down. It's a process. Life is process. You see, now why am I saying this? Because, it's not joining the group that determines whether or not you're desperate. It's the disposition of your heart. And desperation is a sign of anxiety. It's a sign of doubt. It's a sign of lack of faith. And anything that is not done in faith is sin. Now, why am I saying that? You need to understand that I have a book called Maximizing Singleness, where I was saying that singleness is not a bad thing. It's not a curse. It's not, in fact, singleness is the biggest opportunity you have in your life. It's the biggest, because when you get married, so many things about your life will change. There are certain things you may wish you had the opportunity to do again as a single, and you would not have it in marriage. All right, because so many other things change. Your realities change. You're now accountable to somebody else, more accountable than you were as a single. And then once the family, once children start coming, the conversation goes to the next level. Do you understand what I'm saying? But so it's important that you know how to make the most of your singleness, to understand, to learn more about life, about God, about your purpose, about yourself, very critically, before you even start pressuring yourself with marriage. And there are a number of people, with time I'll be bringing up some people to share their experiences. There are people who have gotten married to their God sent. I'm using God sent now because the marriage just looks like it was made in heaven, right? Now, there are people who have gotten married to their God sent at the times when they were not even now thinking about marriage anymore. Like they were just so focused on their purpose, focused on doing what they were doing, and love came to meet them, husband came, wife came, and the process was so easy. And some of them are asking like, God, are you sure? Yeah, it's too easy, it's too sweet. Do you understand? Yes, because there's a mindset you need to have. It's not just about marriage. Let me tell you something very categorically. There are people who are already married and are wishing and hoping that they did not get married. In fact, they are hoping that they can find a way out. In fact, let me tell you the more terrible one. There are people who are wishing that their partner will die so that they can go and marry another person. I'm telling you, I'm not making this up. All right. And why is that? Because somehow they discovered that, this thing is not going the way I thought. It's not, somebody has told me before, this marriage thing is scam. People did not tell us. It did not tell us. Why do people say these kind of things? It's because their experiences are not in tandem with what their expectations are. And if you're humble enough to see a therapist, to come around to my sessions, or, if you're humble enough, you will discover that there are gaps, there are knowledge gaps. And once you start learning the right thing and apply your heart to it, especially if you have a partner who is also open to learning and, making things work and making things right, you will discover that your marriage will begin to work. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Do you understand? Yes, my uncle dropped a comment there. Let me read his comment. Greetings, sir. Say it loud. I have a testimony to that love. Yeah, that love built home. Exactly. A lovely home built with and in love. Come around them and you want to marry at a tender age. Now those concepts are they use for my marriage. Exactly. And it's working for me. Now hugging be our greeting, both in and outside. Back then. Great job, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for attesting. That's a family member attesting to the story I gave about the kind of home I grew up in. All right. So I'm just letting you know that it is possible. Love is practical, it is real, and it's easy, it's not hard. If you follow the sessions I did on self-awareness last month, I established a lot of foundations for why people struggle, in with so many things because of all the dysfunction, and the trauma that they experienced growing up. And the problem is they did not even know it was something wrong. So they thought it's just normal. That's how life is. That's how we behave in our family. But they don't know that that thing they thought was normal is what is impeding them now, from experiencing true love, true happiness, and true progress in their relationship and marriage. All right. Please let me stick to my topic of matchmaking. All right. So joining a platform like ours is not what will make you desperate. No. If you're desperate, it will show in every other thing. And what I'm telling you is that you should have peace and trust God and trust the process. And while you're doing all of that, please focus on yourself and building yourself, becoming who God wants you to be, and then also focus on service. Serve. Service is your rehearsal for marriage. Yes, because in marriage, you will serve your partner, you will serve your family for the rest of your life. So rehearse serving now. Go and join a department in church. Join a department. Learn how to volunteer. Do you know that there are some people who go and buy dogs so that they can learn how to care for something else beyond themselves before they get married? Yes, is that intentional? Go and volunteer. Anywhere you hear that, we need people to show up for the weekend cleaning, go and do it. We need somebody to volunteer go and volunteer. Go and learn how to serve. Go and learn how to be somewhere and people are insulting you, people that are smaller than you, and people that you can help and change their destiny are speaking to you rudely, and you're not picking offense because you just excuse it away. If they knew better, they wouldn't behave like that. Go and learn. A lot of people have so caged themselves from actual development in life. What do I mean by development? You don't expose yourself to, you don't want to say, I know myself, I have short temper. So you will not go anywhere where your temper can be triggered. You just say, I don't want trouble, I know what I can do. Calm down. Sometimes you need to go to those places and you need to learn and understand that this thing called trigger, I can control it. You can insult me and I will not answer you back. You can treat me in a hurtful way and I will not feel hurt. I remember one time I used to tell people then that I cannot be embarrassed no matter how you try. If something shameful happens to me, listen, there was a time I was emceeing a national camp meeting. It was an international camp meeting. I was emceeing that day, and as I was climbing up the stage, I slipped and fell. And everybody saw that, that, whoa. And then I stood up and laughed and continued. And I even told a joke or something about it, and everybody laughed, and we moved on. Some people, if that thing happened to them, they can never, ever recover in their life again. Shame. Oh my God, falling hard, embarrassed. Come on, cut yourself some slack. No, don't punish yourself like that. There are some ladies that if their wig ever goes off in any environment, in fact, there's some ladies that if you dare sight them without wig, even in their house, hey, it's like their life has ended. It's like, you have seen my shame. As if all the full shame in your life is on that. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should be unkempt, all right? I'm just saying that don't attach over importance to some of these things. You are a lot more valuable than those things. Do you understand? Yeah, so there's some ladies that will never step out anywhere without makeup. You are depriving the world of your true beauty. That makeup is not the real you. Do you understand? Because you need to understand that your beauty is first internal. It's the quality of person you are. There's how pleasant and lovable you will be that nobody is noticing whether there's makeup on your face or not. You are just lovely to be around. I remember one time one of my friends, did a post and was complaining about a particular pimple on her face. And then I went there to comment that, if not that you mentioned it, I didn't see the pimple. Like I literally had to zoom in to say, where pimple obvious, but because in her mind it was like, this pimple on my face, and that's what many people are doing. You just think that people will notice that thing that is off about you. No, people are busy with their own issues and problems in life. It's not you that they're thinking about. But in case they chose to not be busy with their own life and it's you that decided to think about, then you should celebrate it. You're not so important that other people will pause their lives to pay attention to you. You're already an influencer. You see, you're affecting lives. That's a different way to view it. Instead of thinking that, they're focusing on my downfall, they're focusing on my disadvantage, they're focusing on what is not working in my life. No, if everybody wants to pay attention to you, then you're already a leader. Perhaps you should start selling something to them or start teaching them something. Do you get it? All right, so don't attach that over importance to your looks. Your beauty and your real sense of self should come from the intangibles. That's what the Bible says. It should come from the quality of a beautiful inward spirit. And trust me, whether your face is fine or fine, whether you are tall or not tall, whether you are big or small, when you are a pleasant person, you are pleasant, and anybody who meets you wants to spend time with you. Again, sometime this year, I will attack this issue of spec, because some people are not married now because it's spec they have been waiting for 15 years. 15 years. Now they're praying God bring anyone at all. And even that state of bring anyone is also not a very good state, because I know somebody that told herself that anybody that just asked me for marriage, now I will marry. And then one really came like that, asked her, she married, and then she's out of the marriage. You don't do things like that. You don't do marriage like that. Marriage is a life thing, and it's not just life as per duration, but it affects your very self, your very life, your very essence. Do you understand? So you have to be intentional about it. Let me move on, please. Okay, I was still speaking to that point of desperation. I was just trying to let you know that, please, it's not joining a group like ours that will now make you know that you're desperate. No. Instead, see it as the same way you would join a professional network to learn more about your job, the same way you would join a professional network or a church network group or a Bible school or something. See that is what it is. Now you're joining a marriage club so that you can learn about marriage and you can know how to achieve a blissful marriage, because this young man here keeps saying that the blissful marriage is possible and I deserve it. Well, I didn't think I deserved it, but maybe since he's saying it, maybe I should check it out. Come and check it out. I will prove it to you, demonstrate it to you that it is possible and that of a truth you deserve it and you can have it. All right, let me move on. This one is the spiritual one. Some people say, if I join a group like this, it's a sign that I don't have faith in God. I don't have faith. If I have faith, I shouldn't join a matchmaking group. Let me I'm looking for the most appropriate example now to give to answer this question so that I'll not be too harsh. Now, when you feel ill, sometimes you pray God heal me, right? And then sometimes you also go to the hospital. Sometimes you pray and then you take the medicine, you know. Does taking medicine mean that you don't have faith? And there are people who are really caught up in this kind of doctrine and who feel like, listen, you don't have any point to prove to God. It's God that made you. He knows you in out. He knows your weakness. He knows if there's anybody that knows your true spiritual state, it's God. There's some people they package God. They want God to think that they are spiritual. Come on, stop that thing you're doing. He knows you inside out. The psalmist say, you know my inmost being, you know my reins, you formed me. Do you understand? Where do I want to hide from you? Where shall I go from your presence? If I go to the mountain, you are there. If I go to the deepest depths, you are there. Do you understand? So, see, when it has to do with God, one of the best things you can do with yourself or to yourself or for yourself is to come as plain as possible. Scripture says a broken and a contrite heart, God will not despise. All right. So listen, if you are at that stage of your life where you are ready to get married, is something you desire as the next stage, all right, and it looks like it's not forthcoming, or you see an opportunity to belong to a membership where they are intentional about building, godly and healthy marriages, there is absolutely nothing wrong in registering. It's not in fact, it's a sign of faith. All right, it's an action of faith. Yes, I believe that if I join this community, I will see somebody and I will also learn about marriage. In fact, I was so blessed when I was chatting with one of the people on the group, and I was telling her about the coaching as well as the matchmaking, and I was just trying to explain that, hey, I just started, I beg, it's as more people come that we'll have more options. And you know what she told me? She said, I'm even more interested in the coaching aspect. And I was like, whoa, then you're in the right place. I'm going to give you content, man. I'm going to give you so much quality value that you'll be glad you came. Do you understand that? So it's not lack of faith, all right? It's an act of faith that actually I'm ready to get married and I am doing something intentional and something healthy about it. Is it not better you do this than you go and start saying yes to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you don't even know their intentions, and at the end of the day you start crying, somebody's hurting me, somebody's taking advantage of me, somebody's jilting me here and there. This is even a safer thing to do, if for nothing, for the fact that the coordinator of this group is a life coach, is a relation. If I list my relationship certifications for you people will not even know that somebody can be disinvested in this thing. There's plenty, and there's more. You understand? For me, it's not about counting certificates. God knows I'm not really using certificates for anything. I go after knowledge. I want to consume everything I see. If I show you my Acrobat reader right now, there are about 6 books open side by side. Yes, that's how I read. I read this one, I set time for it. I read this one, I leave it. I read this one, I leave it. I read this one. Do you understand? So by the time I'm done with these books, I've finished reading 6 books. Do you understand? I'm reading about everything, about parenting, about children, about marriage, about single, about everything I can find. Do you understand? Why? Because I'm intentional about this, and I want anybody coming here to be able to find quality help. All right. So let me just speak to that point. Let me just round off this point rather. Joining a matchmaking group does not mean that you don't have faith. On the contrary, it means that you have faith, because faith is proved right by her actions. All right. Faith without works, the Bible says, is dead. All right. So the proof that you have faith is that you're not just waiting on God, but you're doing something healthy and something right about getting ready for marriage. Now, let me give you this example. Between these two people want to go out, or rather, two people have, there's a crusade. No, let me use crusade. Too much church stuff. Okay, so let me say there's a job interview that people want to go for, and then both of them are in the house. This is rainy season that we're in, and then both of them have faith that they'll get the job. On the day of the interview, both of them dress up. One carries an umbrella or a raincoat, and the other does not. Out of these two people, which one has more faith that he's really going to get a job in that interview? It is the one who carried the umbrella, because what he's saying is that if rain wants to fall, I will still get to my interview and I will get there sharp. But the one who is going without umbrella, He's going to be at the mercy of the rain. If the rain is so heavy and he cannot help himself, he'll go and find one shade and hide under there. And that's how the time for interview will pass. He'll not be calling there, sorry, it's the rain. They'll not tell you no. If you wanted this job seriously, you'd have defied the rain or found a way to still make it here. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the fact that you are making healthy preparations for your life, does not show a lack of faith. On the contrary, it is an actual act of faith. All right, so let me move on a bit. Yeah, I've heard people also say another concern people have is that you cannot find your God-sent partner there in those kind of groups. No, at least you are not God. You are not the one that is sending the partner. Allow the person go and check something. All right. Now, why am I saying that? Because again and again, I've told you, it does not matter where you meet your partner. What matters is the quality of conversations you people start having. It is those conversations that will tell you whether you're about to take this friendship or this connection or this acquaintanceship to the next level. All right. It's those conversations that will let you know whether cut it, forget this person, they're not serious, or wow, this is a good person. I like to know them better. Do you understand? Every time you speak, does something leap for joy in your spirit? Do you come alive? Do you find strength? Do you find hope? Do you find assurance? Do you find all of these things? All right. And besides that, because there are some people they're like angels when you meet them. They're like angels. They know how to do this thing. They're very courteous. They will open the door for you as a lady. They will check on you. How are you? Are you fine? Have you gotten home? Is everything okay? If you don't mind, I can drop you right at your doorstep. They'll do all of those nice things. And then you'll be expecting that maybe they'll try to hug you. No, they won't hug you. They'll tell you it's okay. And you say, he's a correct boy. Calm down. No, don't be blown away like chaff very easily. That's what I'm telling people to have sense, get wisdom. I keep sharing different, a lot from the book of Proverbs because it's one wisdom book. It says, does not wisdom call out, does not understanding raise her voice. On the heights along the way, she shouts it, come, all of you, come and get sense, shouting to those who are simple, come in and eat my food and drink the wine that I have mixed. That's wisdom telling you, come and learn of me. Come and learn of me. That's wisdom calling. You see, so if you don't get wisdom, you'll be blown away by some of these gestures. All right. So my point is, it's not just by the niceness. In fact, coming later to some tools you should arm yourself with. So let me not get ahead of myself. But what I'm saying is, by the time they tell you that you can't find your God-sent partner there, or you can't find a godly partner there, no, that's not true. That's not entirely true. All right, because all kinds of people are in a dating pool. All kinds. The same way all kinds of people are in church. Many people have married wrong from church. So many people have married wrong from church. They met each other in church. And some, in fact, one of the guests I had on my session last year actually shared about this. How the fact that one of the terrible relationships she had when she had started taking her life seriously with the things of God and all that was with a brother that she met in church. All right. And then the church bro will be telling her, just keep this very coded between us. I don't want people to know what's going on. This church, people really talk. And so let's just keep it coded. She did not know that as she's keeping coded, she's like number 4 on the list. So point is, it's not by saying that I met this person in church. There are all kinds of people everywhere, including the church. And that is why you need to arm yourself with these 4 things I'm going to speak about just as I close. All right. But basically, you can find your partner in a matchmaking site. Oh yes. Now let me say this. There are different kinds of sites. I have this teaching I did last year on safety tips for online dating. There are all kinds of sites, all kinds of dating sites. All right. And any kind of thing you're looking for online, you will see it. You will not even believe it. Thank you, Reverend Chima. In fact, thank you, sir, for being here. It's a church and a hospital. In other words, people where they find treatment. There are plenty for there. All right. So it's not everybody that you meet in church that is a son of God. It's not everybody that you meet in church that even knows what God is. See, let me not drag this church matter. But the point is, there are a lot of unwell people in church. So don't say because he's speaking in tongues. I know somebody like this, when this person throw away tongues and you say go turn back, you wonder like, man, see tongues, man. Like I need to learn, man. I gotta do better. I gotta speak those tongues, man. Because if you hear machine gun dimensions, until you see workings later, you'll be wondering that that tongues and this behavior, I cannot relate the two together. Do you understand? So yes, all kinds of people are in church. Somebody says it's a general hospital mixed with psych. Yeah, exactly. So point is, you don't allow yourself to be carried away by just some of those demonstrations you see, or that charisma you see out there. Preachers and pastors have the grace for the office, the grace for the assignment. But you see, this Christian life, it is the very same way you are living your Christian life that your pastor is living his Christian life. If your pastor wakes up and does not take his Christian life seriously, he will lose guard, and you will see his matter on the news. Do you understand? It's the same way you have to take yours seriously. There's no special anointing. You see, now that I've attained pastorhood, I don't need to be serious with God anymore. I've arrived. No, it's daily. We walk this walk daily. Paul says we die daily. Do you understand? So, point is, you need to know God for yourself. And then you need to know how to identify. I'm coming to it. I'm going to talk about discernment, patience, wisdom, and what's the last one? Maturity. So let me not get ahead of myself. But basically, you can meet your partner in a matchmaking site, especially one like ours, where we're intentional about the kind of people coming in and about the kind of materials we're feeding them with. Am I saying that everybody in the group will attend our coaching sessions or our general webinars and so like that? No, not everybody will attend. In fact, there are people that it's not by attending. I know some people that have been going to church since they born them. Their character is still bad. So it's not by attending. Do you understand? It's about the personal decision to let it get into your spirit. All right. So let me move on. All right. Somebody says, I'm shy. Because I'm shy, I don't want to enter matchmaking club. No problem. When you are bold enough to want to marry, you can decide to get married. Okay. But if you are shy, and how do you want to do life with somebody else with this shyness? Because marriage requires a lot of vulnerability. If you are shy, one of the things about shyness is that you're very self-conscious, and you're always rating yourself in a way that you think you're not up to par, you're not good enough. So if you're that kind of person, how are you going to be vulnerable and emotionally expressive with a partner? How are you going to do that? All right. So don't say because you're shy, you want to stay away. Instead, because you're shy, come and join the platform. Why? Because we're going to teach you, and some of the things we'll be sharing and coaching and in our webinars and all that, will help you discover who you are, build capacity, learn about your self-awareness and your strengths and your potentials and all the greatness that God has blessed you with. And you discover that formerly shy person is now bold like a lion. All right. So please don't stay away because you say you're shy. Instead, come, let's help you. We have the cure for that shyness. And someone says, I've tried before. I've joined like 3 different, I have different apps I've joined, It does not work. You just keep getting all kinds of unserious people talk to you. Don't worry. Don't worry. Sometimes the same fire that you used to cook food, sometimes you used to burn something. That same iron that you used to iron your clothes, sometimes if you don't hold it well, it will burn the clothes. All right. So the fact that certain things tend to go wrong sometimes does not mean that things can go right, cannot go right. What am I saying? It matters where you are. All right. I was saying something about different kinds of dating sites. Thank you. So there are some sites that will tell you clearly what we are for. Are you bored? You want somebody to spend the night with you? You want somebody to, some even advertise, I can give you 7 stars in 7 minutes. I can do this. So there are all kinds of sites for different kinds of purposes. What I am doing is not a dating site. It's matchmaking for marriage. For marriage. All right. It's not for small boys. It's not for serious people. All right. I tried to initially when I was going to do this second time, I wanted to make the age limit for guys to be 40 and above. Let's just know that it's people that know that they want to marry now that will come. But I said, okay, let me extend it. There are some serious-minded 30-something-year-olds, So I extended it to 30 for guys and then ladies 20. But at first I wanted to just leave it for senior bachelors and spinsters that know that this is what I want to do and I'm focused. That's what I wanted to do initially. And I may still have a niche for those kind of people later, but the point is it has to be people who are intentional and who are serious and ready to get married already. Okay. So that you tried it before and it didn't work. Don't worry. Come and try our own. Our own is different. Okay. Especially because of the intentionality we're putting into it. All right. Let me round up. Someone says that when you meet somebody the first time and your conversation is starting with marriage, that is already a red flag. Yes, that is there's truth there. All right, because what we like to tell people is take time to know who this person is first. You have to be sure that your values align, and if you don't spend some time in actually interacting with them and finding them out for who they really are, you may just be carried away by some gestures. All right. So yes, the point is we like to tell people to be friends before you are talking marriage. But the truth is, for people coming to a matchmaking site, you already know that what you're looking for. Pastor Chima says he likes Cecilia Bachelor. Yes, exactly. There are people in their 40s and above. Actually, I pray for this category of people. I pray daily for this kind of people, especially the ones within my circle, because I want them to get married. I want them to be happy, So I don't go forget what I talked before. Okay, so I was saying that yes, it's important that you people are friends, but anybody coming to this kind of forum already knows that I'm here for marriage. So when you meet somebody, it's not that I don't know you, I don't know your name, I don't know where you're from, but I want to marry you and you look like I can marry you, come let us marry. That's not what you're doing now. It's not, I'm not jazzing somebody. You people will first interact. Do you understand? You people will discuss. And even though it's true that it's marriage that is what is ultimately on your mind, it doesn't mean that from day one of the conversation, so start asking jam question, interview. No, you people you'll be shy. There will be opportunity to grow and nurture the conversations, and it's part of the things I'll be teaching. You will be able to nurture the conversations. You know what kind of conversations to have even before you start having physical meetings, because I always discourage physical meetings from the beginning. You need to have some level of confidence on who this person is first. You need to have done video call with the person before you're even saying, okay, let us meet. And when you're meeting, don't meet at nobody's house. And anyway, I have a full video where I talked about the guidelines, so let me not go into that. But I lost my line of thought again. I'm thinking about time. That's why I'm running. I forgot what to say. Anyway, I was saying that yes, the fact that the conversation is starting with marriage does not mean that it's a bad thing. These are people who are supposed to be mature enough, to be able to moderate their conversations and moderate the, for example, yes, we don't want to get married, but when we're talking about our lives, for example, I'm listening to so many things, not just what you're saying. I'm looking out for this, I'm looking out for that. I'm asking intentional questions. Do you understand? So with those kind of guided conversations, yes, you can meet for the purpose of marriage. And after you guys discuss for a couple of weeks, both of you tell yourselves that we don't think this thing is going to work, and you go your separate ways. Now you don't have to quarrel with anybody. Do you understand? Now let me move on. Let me round up with this. I said that there are 4 tools that I'll need you to arm yourself with. Perhaps next week I'll spend time to break them down. One is discernment. All right. Discernment is the ability to see beyond the surface. All right. And no wonder it's one of the gifts that God blesses his children with. Talking about the gifts of the Spirit is one of the 9 gifts mentioned in the Bible, but beyond the discernment that is used for ministry, for church, is something you need in your everyday life. You need to be able to ask yourself certain questions, that will help you interrogate a particular situation to find out what is not at the surface, to find out what is hidden. That's discernment. You need to be able to ask questions and hear what is being said alongside what is not said. That's discernment. You need to know how to be able to see between the lines sometimes, to read between the lines sometimes. That's discernment. Some people used to confuse discernment for suspicion. As I just see that guy, I not just trust her. The way that boy face, the way they see that face, and they be Curtis. No, calm down. You may have been born in a strong environment, does not mean he's a bad guy. I remember one of my leaders, he's a man of God. One time we had our board of executives meeting in CFI there. We had it in Benin. And then one night as we were coming or we were going to the venue, there were like 5 guys in the car. There was a police checkpoint and the police stopped and looked at all young boys. And then, where are they go? Where are you going? I say, pastors. Pastor. He looked at us, yeah, everybody looked cool. But he now shined the torchlight on that particular guy's face. I won't call his name now because some people here know him. Now shine the torchlight on his face. He said, this one too, that pastor. And everybody started laughing because this is our brother. He's a rugged man of God. Let me use his code name. Some people name the lion. He used to roar. So the police said, this one to the pastor. And all of us started laughing because he has strong face. Yes, he has strong face, but he's still a man of God. And he's a very pleasant fellow. If he's here, that the way we laugh, a very pleasant fellow, lovely brother. Do you understand? He's an ordained minister, he's a pastor, but because he has strong face. So my point is, don't just dismiss people because of their face. Yeah, the way this one is, the way I'm looking at this one. No, that's not discernment, that's suspicion. In fact, it is with discernment that you know that beyond the face, this is a pleasant person. Do you understand? So I'll spend more time to talk about it next week. And then there's another thing you want to arm yourself with is patience. You want to tell God, help me to be patient. Help me to lean on you confidently. Do you understand? Help me to know that my life is in your hands and nothing can take me away from your hands. So that I'm not running against my own time. I'm not even paying attention to what God's plan is for me. Yes, it's true you're in your 30s or 40s and you're not married yet. It does not, listen. It does not mean that you're in any disadvantage point right now. No, find out what God's plan for your life is. People have gotten married in their 50s and lived to have a beautiful and lovely marriage and even had children. Oh yes. So don't let anything make you lose your patience. Patience is an act of faith. It's an act of trust in God. All right, let me stop there for now. I'll try to expatiate on this next week. And then another thing you need is wisdom. Wisdom. Dr. Mike Murdoch will say wisdom is the ability to know the difference. Scripture says wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. Proverbs 4 verse 7. And in all you're getting, get understanding. And one of the ways you get wisdom is by listening to these kind of sessions and by joining the community so that you can get access to all our trainings that we'll be doing there. Why? Because that is where you arm yourself. Three things. There are three of these qualities that go together: knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. All right. Knowledge is like the initial data that you gather, and you can have knowledge and not use it for anything. You can have knowledge and not even understand it. All right. You don't. And what is the proof that you understand it? That you can explain its working, and then you can put it to use. All right. So it's one thing to know that if you're driving an automatic car, there's throttle, there's brake, and there's gear. It's one thing to know that this is what it is. But if you don't understand the mechanism that works it, you will not understand why sometimes you have to step on the brakes to engage the gear, or you won't understand that. And then you can understand that, but you have not done it before. So the first day you try it, you run into the wall because you did not know that there's a way to moderate it and there's a way to turn your hand and then why. So that's the difference between knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to now apply that knowledge that you have understood so that it is helpful to you and to your world around you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yes, you want to ask God for wisdom, and then you also want to go for wisdom. You want to get wisdom. You want to learn. You want to increase in wisdom. Why? Because that is how you will navigate all of these conversations and all of these situations that we're talking about. The Bible says the wise man will see danger and hide and seek refuge. He said, but the foolish man will keep going and suffer for it. That's what's happening all over the world today. Now say, oh, had I known. Oh, they did this to me, they did that to me. When you will ask them question now, it's just that they look like you're insensitive. That's why you should at least now tell them sorry first. Because you almost ask them, who sent you? Why did you go there? Did you not see? Do you understand? Well, we don't do that. Okay, I wear different hats. The therapist in me will not do that. But the coach in me, because I tell people, coach is not your friend though. Coach is not your friend. Coach is there to help you achieve certain goals. And sometimes it might not be palatable, but we push you towards the end picture. We're not smiling with you, right? The coach in me can treat you like that. The counselor in me will not do that. The therapist will not do that because, that's where we come in with petting and with empathy and, want to. But if you meet me in a coach mode and depending on the conversation, then I will help you see how that it is your lack of wisdom that has put you where you are. Now, Proverbs 29 verse 3, a man's own foolishness ruins his life, yet his heart rages against the Lord. Oh God, if you are there in heaven, how can you allow this to happen? But you carried your two left legs and you walked into that place and you did what you did, and then now you're facing the consequences and you're saying it is God's fault. Waiting concern God for himself. All right. The final point I'll speak about is emotional maturity. I've overshot my time. Please forgive me, guys. I'm closing now. emotional maturity. All right. So these are the four things that you need to at least just arm yourself with these, so that when you're joining groups like ours, like matchmaking communities and stuff like that, you are there with your full sense and you're fully on guard. The day you see somebody that is not it, you say hi, but you don't have to connect. Do you understand? And when you see the person that is the one that that we can take this conversation forward, you would know. And when you start interacting, you will know whether yes to continue or whether to stop. And I mean, these things are doable and they're easy. It's not as difficult and confusing as people have made it. Many times the struggle is usually a wisdom struggle, because some people don't know what to do. So I will stop here for today. Please bear with me. All right. And